Alright, so this is the final video review of the short little mini-series that's dedicated to Transformers Unite Warriors Baldigus box set, which is none other than Transformers Robots in Disguise Ruination. But before we take a look at the Combaticons all combined up into Ruination, let's take a look at something that a lot of people have been anticipating me showing off here. So here is the box of it. First and foremost, that's every single video review when I can. So we got some nice artwork of Ruination. Looks like he's going into combat against, I don't know, some Autobots or something. There's a bunch of explosions in the background, missiles firing off. You can see there's like double the team going on here, as we have Movor here, we got Rotor back here. Armorhide was around here somewhere. I lost sight of him, but yeah, it's kind of strange. Onslaught is down here. My apologies, I meant Mega Octane is down here. And yet the funny thing is they're all combined into Ruination as it is, so weird. But as you can see, we got Transformers down here. We got Takara Tomy. We got Transformers here. We got Unite Warriors. UWEX, that's Unite Warriors Extra, I guess. And then, of course, we got some Japanese text that I can't read. Evil the Stronger, Combiner, Combatron, Baldigus. And here's a look at the top. Here's a look at the side, which isn't much. Here's a look at the other side, which again isn't much. Onto the back of the packaging, and here's some specific details going on here, all in Japanese text, which I can't read. So I cannot read the summary, but if anybody wants to translate this down below, I'll give you a good shot of it, so you know, feel free to do so if you so choose. It would be nice. So there's that. We got two forms here in the combination of Ruination, as the limbs are interchangeable with each other. But I'm only going to stick with what was mainly featured within the cartoon. So I'm not going to be showing off this mode here, which again is just swapping of the limbs. It's not really that big of an issue. There is, of course, a magnet holding the front piece here, which you can flip up. And there's absolutely no way I'm going to be able to show this off, is there? I'm going to try, but as you can see, we got a nice window here to display all the figures in their vehicle mode and their weapons and accessories within the box, if you so choose. And then, of course, if I try to bring this down here where you can get a good look at it. No, that's not working. Let me raise the camera, try to adjust it. You can see we got more specific details, and once again in Japanese text, which I just cannot read. Okay, as per Transformers, it doesn't matter whether it's multi-packaging or what, every single Transformer figure to ever exist comes with a set of instructions, which I'm going to show off now. So once again, we got the nice artwork that's on the packaging for this set. So we got some information here, some specifics about weapons and the characters. That's nice, I guess, but the problem that I got with the instructions is that they are all in that gray format, which you could hardly see what's going on here, and there's really no highlights in red or purple like Hasbro does. So this really didn't work out too well. And then on the back here, we got something, you know, Japanese and the way they like to do what they do best, apparently, with their comics. Not saying that I don't like this. It's very nice artwork. I like the style of it. It's just weird. But yeah, that's just me. So anyway, there's that. Nothing else to really show off there. So what do you say we go ahead and take a look at what we got here for the set, which of course I'm going to have to move because they are so far out from where I had to maneuver everything to get enough room to actually do this review for you, because this is a big set. So here we have Armorhide already set up, ready to go for a combination for the left foot. So there we got that. Let's bring in Rollbar now so you can get a good look at what's going on here with this one. Basically the same thing, just mirrored. So there's that. Of course it's going to fall over because this is such an imbalanced placement that I got everything here. So here we've got Rotor in the left arm formation. So there's that. Here's Movor, which looks pretty nice. Again, it's a very nice set to have the shuttle here. Very much appreciative. I'm glad they didn't go with what Hasbro had to offer us with Blast Off. And then last but not least, the big boy himself, the Voyager class, Mega Octane. So, he looks really good for Ruination. Here's a look at that very nice head sculpt. There's the upside down G2 Autobot logo, which again, I would have preferred if it were the Decepticon logo. And I know there's quite a few people out there that are pretty much in the same boat as me, and I do appreciate the support there. So, you know, for what it is, the paint job on these is really nice, especially for how much you have to pay for these. So what do you say we go ahead and adjust the camera here? And there's no need to fast forward any of this. It's pretty short and simple to actually do. But again, I'm going to have to maneuver around here so I can get this all on camera. So let's go ahead and put this bad boy together into Ruination. So, Ruination Re-Awaken. If you know Combiner War figures, then you already know how this all goes down. It's simplistic. The combination of these joints here for the arms and the legs is very simple. Anybody can do this. A toddler can do this, to tell you the truth. So here we got that. No, he's not complete. I know I missed something here, but I just want to explain real quickly, and also I want to make sure this is all on camera. So I'm sure you got a good look at what was going on there, but I'm going to back him out just a little bit more so you can see this. So, okay. So I have not fully completed transforming the action figure because, to tell you the truth, this is the most scariest part about this figure. I don't know what it is, but the QC around these wing bits here that are going to complete the shield and attach the arms or the shoulders together is very weak. It's like, I don't know what was the difference going on between the plastic with Hasbro and Takara, but Takara is using something that's a little more flimsy. And this is not gold plastic. This is actually gold paint over plastic, which I do appreciate. But it really, at this point, kind of feels like it's a bit brittle. So I'm going to try and get these to attach completely. And I'm going to be very careful about this because it really feels like that these can stretch out at any time when I go to put pressure on getting them to slot in where they belong. And that goes for this one too, because this is the one that gives me a lot of trouble here. It is very problematic. I might have to take this off of camera because it is a scary, scary thought. Well, the arm's trying to come out. Yeah, I really cannot get this one for some reason. It just does not want to go home. There we go. Alright, so it went in finally. So here we've got Ruination. Ruination fully complete in his robot mode, and he looks magnificent. I love the change in the mold that they have to offer here when compared to the Hasbro release, which, to put aside the difference between Blast Off and Move Over here, I really do like these new feet, the new hands. The proportions on them are really nice. We got some big, but not too big, chunky hands that I really do like, that look like real freaking hands, and they look like they're fully articulated, and yet they're not, which is very, very cool, to tell you the truth. But it would have been nice if they were fully articulated, but I understand it wasn't able to be done in the budget that they had. But hey, I mean, it still looks very nice. It looks very convincing, to tell you the truth. And the feet, they're so big, and they're not as small as the Hasbro ones. They are like, I don't know, 2-3 times the size of the actual Hasbro feet, and they just look better. I mean, just overall, the presence of this figure, he looks like he just jumped right off of the cartoon and was reformatted on the process of jumping out of the screen and into the palm of my hands, because this is a really nice overall upgraded version of Ruination. I mean, I do have the original for side-by-side comparisons. Well, I got the Universe repaint in Desert Camo, which you can see the difference in night and day. I mean, not just by times of the change in articulation and the way figures are done these days, with more details, more panel line work, more articulation, and just an overall better presence. But you know, really when it comes down to it, the scale on this here is truly a beast. He's big, he's chunky, he doesn't look like he's lacking in proportions in any place, and he just really, really looks fantastic. I just love the way this figure came out. Takara Tomy, I mean, you know, I've had a little bit of some nitpicking going on here with this set, but when it really comes down to it, they got the job done. This is magnificent. You would think that this would be a third party's take on this Ruination set, but no, this is actually Takara Tomy and what they could actually do with the budget that they actually had. And, you know, yes, it is quite a heavy price to pay to get this, but when it really comes down to it, it is a magnificent job, and it's well worth the purchase if you truly are into car robots and robots in disguise. This is a nice touch. QC aside, this is a really, really cool figure to own. I just love it as much as I love robots in disguise and car robots, you know, whichever way you want to say it, potato, potato, tomato, tomato. They're one and the same, and I just love it. So, anyway, there's a nice look at these two here. So let's go ahead and put him back in retirement. And let's bring in what was the previous set for this mold, which is Bruticus. So here is Bruticus. Hopefully he's all on camera. And he is. And you know what? Just for the heck of it, since this is my review, let's go ahead and just bring the big guy back in. Just for old time's sake. And it just completes this side over here. Fills up everything. I love this set. I love it. I love the changes. It just really works. This right here, these hands, I was never really a fan of them. I gave Hasbro their benefit of the doubt. I gave them an opportunity with these, but over time you just realize they're just an eyesore. They're not really as good as you were hoping that they would be. It was a blueprint that just didn't work out in the execution. It just... The way that these are multi-transforming things from guns to feet to hands, it's so wrong on many levels, and especially with the feet. I mean, look how small, how tiny these things are compared to these big chunky feet, which are really going to help out with stability. I mean, look at that. I really feel like this figure, no matter what I do, he's not going to topple over anytime soon. I could tap on this, he's not going to fall over. You know, credit goes for the original as well. This one, on the other hand, it's not going to take much force to knock him over, even with these heel spurs that he's got on the back. But they are so weak that they just move on their own sometimes, and he will topple over times. I actually have seen him on the floor in my room coming home from work, and I have no idea how that actually happens until I realize, hey, the heel spurs, they just turned. So, yeah. He's a mess, but, you know, I still love this figure, but I really think the dominant figure is Ruination here. When it comes to the mold, it's this one right here. So, you know, there's not really much else to say about this action figure. I mean, if you've seen one Bruticus set, you know, Ruination, Baldigus, whatever you want to call him, you've seen them all. But I will go through the specifics of the action figure just to complete this review. So we do have loads of articulation on this guy. We got a ball jointed head. We got universal shoulders, which are on very nice clicky, ratchety joints of goodness. We do have some inward and outward movement as well. We do have like double jointed elbows on both, which is very nice. We got wrist swivel, we got bicep swivel, we've got universal leg joints, which you do have to take a little time to get stability to work with this figure, because, you know, he's still got complications with the Bruticus mold, but it's not as bad, and those feet really do help out. So we got all the movement that you want. We do get some good splits going on here, but you cannot pull off your JCVD, but whatever. It is what it is. It's a big combiner. You really expect them to pull that off. So, then we got single hinge knees, which is very nice. We do get 90 degrees. And then, of course, we got articulation at the feet with a swivel because of the way it transforms, or, you know, basically it attaches is what I meant. And then we've got, you know, a hinge joint on a very tight ratchet, which is kind of complicated to work with, but it's there. You do get some ankle rocker pivot on a few clicks, and I forgot to mention, yeah, there is a 5 swivel cut, so there you got that. And look at this. I mean, he's still standing. Even when I mess with him, he's still in a in a very nice dynamic pose, which I do like. He is magnificent. Then turn to the side here so you can get a good look at the profile of this figure from the side. Now he's going to start toppling over because it's so imbalanced on this side over here. Let me see if I can adjust that. So there we go. You can get a good look at how thin he actually is. You know, that's one thing that I got against this. But, you know, tell you the truth, it's not the fault of the mold or Hasbro. It's just the fact that, you know, it's very difficult to give full-on, very nice proportions in all three modes. When it comes to robot, vehicle, and combining into such, there's always going to be something that's imbalanced here. But the profile is still pretty dang good, especially with the backpack going on here, which, you know, here's a look at the back. You see, this is really nice. I really do love this set. This is one set that I can look at every day in this room and be like, well, yeah, I'm glad I own this. So let's go ahead and take a look at the last thing to go with, and that's basically his weapons here, all combined up. So here's the one that I always put on the right, and you will notice, like I mentioned in the last video review, in order to get this full-on combination here, you do have to turn the front gun upside down to get that to tab in, and that's why. So there we got that. And here's a look at his second blaster, which I like to put in his left hand since it is the smaller dinky one, and I am right-handed anyway, so it makes sense. So anyway, let's go ahead and tap this in because it's as simple as 1, 2, 3, like so, grabbing it, slotting it in, and then just looking at the overall presence on this guy. It's magnificent. I truly love this set. I love the colors. I love how accurate it is to a certain degree with the actual cartoon take, the colors. The proportions on him is nice. The articulation is superior. If only he had a waist swivel, that would have been nice, but I understand. It's a Transformer, and there are going to be some limitations, especially with what Takara or Hasbro can do. But nonetheless, this is one that everyone should truly own. Even if you're not into the Robots in Disguise Car Robots franchise, this is definitely one that's going to turn heads in a very positive way. They're going to be like, what? Where did that come from? I love it. I just love this action figure. The joints are nice and tight on him. They're not loose anywhere. He does hold placement in any way I display him. He's very cool. He's not going to topple over. The combination, the price on this may be questionable, but overall, you do get a lot of bang for your buck, which is something that you really don't get much when it comes to the Hasbro action figures. But again, I'm not judging here. I'll tell you the truth. I like both of these action figures. They are different characters from different eras. We've got Ruination and we got Bruticus. And you know what? You can't beat that. They're both cool in their own ways. They've got problems. Yes. Big problems, small problems, but overall, the presence of both these figures, the execution is pretty superior. I really like both these sets, and I'm glad to be an owner of both the American and the Japanese release, which is phenomenal. I love it. I can't say any more about it. I do recommend this. I'm going to have to go now. This has been a very long video, but hey, it was well worth the time. So for those who were watching this whole thing, thank you very much. I really do appreciate all the support that I've been getting lately on this channel, even if I have been slacking thereof when it comes to expressing my feelings, when it comes to you guys. It is you that keeps the power going, just remember that. So questions, comments, you know what to do. Hit it down below in the comment section of this video. And until the next video review series, which whatever it could be, I've got some things in the works right now that I'm not ready to discuss at this time, but they'll be coming very shortly. But until then, this is your King Red is Power signing off and saying thank you very much for watching.